Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Reach and Reverie. I hope that you guys are happy and healthy, doing what you love. Today, I am on day 6 of quarantine because I might actually have COVID. I've been sick for about a week now, and I am just waiting to get my test results back to see if I do in fact have COVID. So far for the past week, I've had a dry cough. I have been super fatigued where I can only, be up doing something for 5 or 10 minutes and then I need to go inside and sit down. And I've had a headache, just little things like that. But the worst symptom that I've had yet, and which has just been the most discouraging thing, is my loss of sense of taste and smell. I cannot smell or taste a single thing right now, and it is the worst. It's crazy, those things that you take for granted, being able to smell and taste, like candles. I love candles. Everybody who knows me always gets me candles for birthdays and for Christmas, and I love smelling them. Like, I will just sit there and smell them all the time, and I always have a candle lit when I'm home, always. And I use a lot of essential oils, and it's ridiculous. I can't smell anything. I tried the Vicks Vapor Rub, nothing. I literally opened a bottle of essential oils and put it right under my nose, and I could feel the thickness in the air. Like, my body knew that I had some scent in my nose, but zero perception. It's just the strangest thing. A lot of people lose their sense of smell and taste when they have a cold due to congestion, but this is different. It's like I'm not congested at all. I can breathe in and out freely, but I can't taste or smell anything. It's just the weirdest thing. I can feel texture, I can feel temperature, but everything is like water to me. It's so weird. I feel like it's just a weird sensation, eating and smelling things and not having any perception of what that smells like, besides it tasting like water, basically. It is terrible. It's the worst. The worst. 6 days into thinking that I have COVID and quarantining has been rough. I love being home. I feel like normally if I was off for a week, I would be ecstatic. I have all these projects that I have going on the farm. There's always things that we're working on improving and staying busy, but being sick, I haven't had the energy to do anything. I've been sitting inside on the couch under a blanket, pretty much having a permanent cup of tea in my hand, just drinking tea all day long and resting. We've been watching lots of movies. We binge watched Yellowstone, which is amazing. We've just been watching Christmas movies and hanging out, but it's so weird. It's such a different experience. I'm a very organized person, and I always have a list. So whenever I have a day off or a couple days off, I will have my whole time planned out with an itinerary of literally broken down my day so that I can make sure that I get everything done that I want to get done. So it's so weird just being off and knowing that I have so many things to do, and resigning myself to be okay with not getting anything done and just resting is wild. It is wild. So I have been able to keep checking that the chickens have food and water. We have been free-ranging them a lot more since I've been home all the time, which gives the chickens a little more time to get out and be chickens, which makes them happy. You can see here they're scratching around, being chickens, looking for bugs, looking for food. The chickens have overall been really happy with me being home for a week, which is really nice. So I've been feeding and watering the chickens, coming out, making sure that they're okay, and uncovering and covering my plants. Every day I uncover them because like right now it feels like it's about 70. It's really nice and warm outside, but at night we've been getting below freezing every night that I've been home quarantining. So I just get a clear plastic and cover my plants to help hold that heat in over the night to keep them surviving. All of the plants that I have for my winter garden are frost hardy, but generally even when you have frost hardy plants, they can still get damage from a hard freeze. So it's been interesting. I do want to show you guys how my plants are doing. So I have PVC rings over my pots, and I just kind of drape this plastic and some burlap over the pots to get them through the night, and then in the mornings I just kind of hang that ugly plastic over the fence to keep it close by so it'll be there for the next night. And these pots, I do have some carrots and some beets and some radishes. We are getting some damage from sparrows. You can see they're eating the tops off of some of my plants, foraging in here. You see little bite marks on them. But as long as they're still growing, I'm just gonna kind of leave them alone and hope for the best. Hi, my love. In this next pot over, my broccoli is doing okay. It did get a little frost damaged when we had that snow a couple days ago. You can see it's a little droopier in some areas than I'd like, versus in most cases broccoli, when it's really healthy, is nice and firm. You can see the edges of the broccoli have been foraged by little sparrows. They've just taken bites all off the edges of this broccoli. But it's still growing and putting off new growth. So my 2 broccoli plants are hanging in there. I'm hoping we'll get some heads off of them. My burgundy colored red romaine is beautiful and is really, really healthy. Doing really nice. And then I have some purple kohlrabi scattered around, which is hanging in there as well. They also have some damage from the sparrows that are trying to eat them. So as long as the sparrows don't kill my plants, I guess they can eat a little bit of the leaves. Over here I have my 14 pots of the rest of my winter vegetables. It is a really sunny day. It's actually hot in the sun, which is crazy. And I do cover these with plastic at night as well. I just kind of throw the plastic over there. That's about as organized as I am when I'm sick. Let me take you through and I'm going to show you what we have. So I have some lettuce. I'm not sure what variety this is. This came as a packet labeled mesclun, and mesclun is basically like a variety pack of different types of lettuces. I'm not sure what this is, but I like it. Got some kale. In this pot I have broadleaf sage, some black king pansies, and a shallot, and those are all hanging in there. So everything in these pots, they're healthy, but they're not huge. I think they're kind of smaller in size and taking longer to mature just because we are getting those hard freezes every night. And even though they're surviving the freezes, I do think it's slowing down their growth a little bit. As the days get shorter and the days are colder, these frost hardy plants will continue to survive, but they do slow their growth down. When we have a really hot sunny day, I'm noticing that they're perked up and growing, and then when we have those cold days, they just kind of are hanging on and staying alive. So it might take longer for me to harvest all of these, but I'm hoping that we'll at least get something. I have purple, I think it's purple of Sicily cauliflower is the variety. It's supposed to be one of the easier varieties of cauliflower to grow, so I'm hopeful that we'll get a nice harvest out of them. I think they're beautiful. These green leaves, and then there's some purple on the stems. I have some butter crunch lettuce, which is doing pretty good. It's hanging in there. These kind of get a little wilty in the middle of the day, and they actually look their best in the mornings and the evenings when it's cooler. I have several more purple of Sicily cauliflowers. The ones in the middle are doing better than the one on the outside. I think the ones in the middle have had more protection at night, so they're just doing a little bit better on those cauliflowers. I have more Scotch curled kale. That one's hanging in there. It's a really nice dark, almost bluish tone to it. We have some spinach, which I think is bolting because it's been so warm in the days. And then I have different chard. I think these are rainbow chard. I have a red and a yellow rainbow chard, and they are doing better. They're a little stunted. The leaves are really small, but they are putting off new growth. More butter crunch lettuce. I have a mature kale, which is hanging in there, doing pretty good. And then on the back row, I have artichokes in the big pots, and I have a couple pansies in this big pot over here as well. Evie, don't you eat my plants. Back up, Evie. Back up. So everything's surviving. Nothing has died with the really hard freezes that we've gotten this week, which makes me really happy. They are growing, even though it's growing slow, they are growing. So it's very good. Wanted to update you guys with those. I do have a few plants that have still been alive and surviving from 2020 garden, spring and summer garden, and that is my yarrow. This yarrow is doing really good. I have 3 plants and they are just staying green. These were covered in snow and they remain healthy. It's a frost hardy vegetable, not vegetable. It's a frost hardy herb that is actually considered a medicinal. So we like these. I think they're beautiful. Looks kind of fern-like. These actually have really beautiful flowers. Mine haven't flowered yet. I don't know if that's because my soil is off or what. So I'm gonna try to look in to seeing what I can fertilize these with to get them to flower hopefully next spring and summer, because these have really beautiful flowers. They can have pink flowers, yellow flowers, white flowers. I believe the variety I got are white flowers. I think it's just the regular common yarrow. So we'll keep watching these. I'm sure they're gonna survive the winter. They are doing really good and have not diminished at all with the cold weather we've had. And I have not given these any protection whatsoever. My catnip finally died with that last freeze. It was hanging in there for a while. And I think this is Salvia blue sage is growing. The taller areas that are a little more exposed look a little damaged, but the bottom, they're putting off fresh new growth. So in the spring, if these survive the winter, I think I'm just gonna cut this back to the ground and let that new growth take off. And everything else has died. We do have all of our cactuses safely in the greenhouse, so we'll open that up in the spring and hope for the best. Dyson is sunbathing. He likes this warm, sunny weather so much more than he liked the snow. He didn't like the snow at all. You getting your sunbathing in, buddy? Gotta soak up that vitamin D since our days are so short. On days like this, we let Dyson out in the morning and we'll just leave him out here all day. He loves it. You enjoying this pretty day too? We let Evie outside too, but she is a couch dweller and she will hang out for a little bit, maybe an hour at a time, and otherwise she likes to come in and sit on the couch with us. Right, Evie? She's smelling the wind. What do you smell? I'm jealous that you can smell things. There I am. I turn around and look at what he's doing. Do you like hanging out here and get all dirty? Yeah, you do. Rolling in the dirt. like to give the chickens some extra protein this time of year, just because I think it helps them get through the molt a little easier. So I usually give just a couple tablespoons per bird of mealworms or grubblies every day. Just give them a little bit of a protein boost to get those new feathers coming in. Yummy! I usually get grubblies, but I couldn't pass up. There's a really good deal on mealworms. So that's what we're giving them right now. I got like $20 worth of mealworms for 10 bucks the other day. It wasn't the other day, it was a couple weeks ago actually. And what happened was they didn't scan and they didn't have a price and at the store that I was at, and so they just told me like, hey, you want $5 a bag for these? I was like, heck yeah, which is really cool because they're about $10-15 a bag for the size bag I got them for, so it was a really good deal. I generally like grubblies more. They have more calcium and more protein and they're generally healthier for chickens, but that was too good of a deal to pass up for those mealworms. All right, well, I have been outside for long enough today. The wind is picking up. It's getting a little bit cooler outside, so I'm gonna go in, make another cup of hot tea, sit down and watch more Yellowstone probably. And maybe I can talk Luis into another Christmas movie. I love Christmas movies. He tolerates them, but Yellowstone's more up his alley. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that wherever you guys are, y'all are happy and healthy and well. And if you are a little under the weather, I'm wishing you guys to recover very quickly. And I hope that you guys are all doing well. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and you'll get to hang out with me more and see more videos like